What's going on, guys? God bless you. Carlos here with Serranos Mobile Detail in Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. It is very chilly today. Texas is so bipolar. Yesterday we were like at 85. Today we're like at 35. But anyways, we are working on this 2016, I think, Toyota Corolla. And this interior definitely needs some love. You're about to see on these following clips a little bit on how this interior looks. I think this vehicle has never been detailed, kind of by what the customer told me. Today is actually her birthday, so happy birthday to my customer's girlfriend. But now it's time to really get to work. I'm very excited to just see how well we can get this vehicle looking. I'm very nervous because when it comes to Toyota products, their upholstery sucks. So we're gonna see how well we can get this vehicle looking. Okay, so since this vehicle has a lot of dust and a lot of dirt, the first thing I want to do is I want to vacuum. This whole interior really quick, just a light vacuum before I start doing all the blowing and all of that. Just because there's way too much dust and debris and dirt that really just blowing it right now is just gonna make it worse. So I just want to pick up all the minimal stuff, and then we'll start really the grinding, which is using this tool right here to really get into the fibers. We're probably going to be doing like back and forth vacuuming on this car because we really want, well, what I want to do is I really want to get into the fibers really good of this carpet. There's a mixture of pet hair as well, so this is going to be one that's going to be kind of checking off all the check boxes of a pretty hammered interior, so should be a fun one. You can definitely tell it has never been detailed, I think. Not like a deep clean, that's for sure. We finished doing the pre-vacuum. The vacuuming doesn't have to be like deep clean, just because we're gonna be vacuuming this car probably over and over again. So after I do pretty much the vacuuming, removing the big items, now it's time to really get more deep into the fibers. So for that, we're gonna be using the Vortex air tool. When you have a car like this, it's very crucial to have an air tool, so it can really start opening up, like really blasting those fibers off, because right now the carpet is really rough. That tells me that this car really has never been detailed, because all that dirt is just pretty much like stacking. And we're gonna be using this new drill brush. It's a cone, and for this car it's really good because it's gonna get into all the intricate areas, like the middle of the center console, all in between these seats, a little bit much better than the round than the toilet brush one that I use. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Because there is a lot of dust today, I am wearing a mask. I'll put my gloves on here after. All right, so due to, I think you guys won't be able to see what I am doing, but I'm gonna explain to you guys a little bit of the process. So phase one, or step one, obviously, when you start the second phase, which is this phase right here, you want to blow everything. I call this the shocking method, because I feel like I'm shocking the fibers. The fibers are like, what the heck, right? So I call this my shocking method. I will blow everything really, really tight, really nice. I have the vortex at maximum velocity or maximum PSI, and that's spinning really fast. It's gonna help me really open the fibers. And then I'm vacuuming it, right? Next phase, I'm coming with the drill brush with this cone one. I'm coming back with this one right here, and I have actually really enjoyed it. It gets much better all on the creases or the edges of this carpet, as well as the curves that a lot of these cars have. Specifically, this Corolla right here has like a nice little bump, right? So after I do my vortex, I will blow everything. I'll vacuum it. Then I'll start the drill brushing method. And all you got to do is just brush all the way through nicely, vacuum, and then I'll do it pretty much the other way. So it gets two types of bristle movement, and that's going to loosen up a lot of this carpet. It is literally like cardboard. It's so hard. And then you vacuum it. There's a lot of pet hair, so I'm coming back with the Analant pet hair brush next, and just getting all the pet hair nicely and vacuuming it. You might need to repeat this process maybe 2 or 3 times to really get the best out of this carpet, but it's looking really good actually after we do all these steps. That's why you charge accordingly for these types of packages. Okay, I've done ahead and done the major vacuuming, drill brushing. I'm gonna give it one more vacuum, but that's gonna be to the very end before I start the extraction. But just wanted to show you guys really quick how well it is looking just by taking a little bit of more time. A lot of that dirt was really inside these fibers, but now, I mean, now it's starting to get that black color. From this interior, I gotta put on my gloves because I will need it. I'm thinking of using P&S interior cleaner. If I see that it's not cutting on the plastics and stuff, I'm probably gonna bump it up to Drive Auto Appearance Bust Down, their MPC or multi-purpose cleaner. But we'll start light, and then if we have to go aggressive, then we'll bump up. So let me get the interior express cleaner. We're gonna be using the Car Pro brush, just because this one has just a little bit more stiffer bristles, because that's what we need for this vehicle. And I'm gonna use my tile brush because you're gonna need it for this type of car. Ready to start cleaning this interior. We're gonna use Express Interior Cleaner. We're using a Vortex air tool to blow all into these areas. There's a lot of dust. The Car Pro detailing brush, and the new, my most favorite, the Sumo Scrub. I'm gonna be talking about this one probably in the next couple of days. Today it was more, I wanna kind of showcase a little bit on how I get this type of vehicle done. So I start from the dashboard. I'll spray heavily up here real quick, and then I will scrub this. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but this is really, really nice. The abrasives on it are very gentle to your interior, so don't panic. It's not gonna scratch. It cleans really, really well, to be honest, in my opinion. And then I always turn the vehicle on so that I can get in between, like this area here. I'll spray here, and then what I'll do is I'll keep turning the steering wheel so that I can get all into these areas that usually you can't get. Of course, you could probably put a towel through here and kind of do this, but for me, it's always worked to just turn the car on, turn the steering wheel around, and brush all into these areas, just like that. Always make sure that on these Corollas, make sure you get this backside piece right here. There's a lot of grime, so with this brush, you're able to really kind of separate all that dirt that's in between here nicely. And someone said maybe the brush is too stiff, or it'll cause damage. To be honest, working on this plastic, it's not gonna do really no damage whatsoever. So that's that on that part. And then I'll brush this, and then I'll hit the steering wheel. Like, this steering wheel is still in great shape to where it's gonna clean up nicely. Now, sometimes there is steering wheels out there that are just done, and the more you scrub, the more you're peeling off the material. So always just be cautious. Talk to your customer if you're working on a car that's just you know, I hate using the word trash, that's hammered. But you got to explain to them, you know, the pros and cons of what can happen when you start detailing it, because you really don't want any problems when you finish. So the steering wheel is done. I'm just gonna steam it here after. But by you turning the car on, it just gives you a lot of leverage, mobility to really get this car clean and get it looking just that much better. The door, we are using the PNS interior cleaner. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the PNS because it's doing pretty well on this vehicle. One thing about this Sumo scrub is you can use it on both, like upholstery, it cleans up nicely, and plastics. So I'm really enjoying this scrub. But I always start from inside and work my way outside, if that kind of makes sense. So I always start from the dashboard, steering wheel, radio area, the cup holders, the gear shift, all that. And then I work my way out. I'll work my way out on this to the doors. I think this thing is gonna turn out pretty good. If I'm being honest, I think this thing will turn out really nice. After I do my scrubbing, then I'll do my steaming really quick. When working on a car that's pretty hammered like this, steaming is really gonna be your best friend, because it's gonna help remove a lot of the grime. And it just cleans so much better. I know some will just spray the cleaner and then wipe it off. But for me, I just tend to really scrub everything just thoroughly. And it just became a habit. You know, a lot of people who come and watch me work, they're like, man, that's a lot of steps. But really, it just makes your interior stand out much better. When working on these types of material, you can spray that interior cleaner real quick and then kind of agitate it. Use your Vortex air tool to kind of pressure it out. And this cleans up really well just by using that stuff. You don't have to use heavy cleaners on it if you don't need to. Sometimes I do, but for this process, it's gonna do just fine with the interior cleaner. Probably the best part, the extraction part. I've gone ahead and cleaned all the plastic, steam cleaned, brushed, everything, the whole 9 yards on the plastic. It's looking really well. But for the extraction today, guys, we're gonna be switching up the chemistry. Usually you guys see me do flex ice on the extractor. Today on the extractor, we are using flex fire. Flex fire is the one you use on scenarios like today where the seats are pretty hammered. This thing is gonna clean really well. I did a half a scoop of this one into my 10-gallon extractor. I'm not really good with dilution. I've never had any issues or any like staining. I do usually a half a scoop for that size. So we're using Flex Fire. Next up, we are using Flex Citrus. That's gonna be our pre-spray. And for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and do a I'm gonna do 2 scoops of that one because the interior is pretty rough. So I wanna make sure that this product can really get into the fiber. So we're gonna do 2 scoops of this one. All right, so the pre-spray, we're gonna do it right now. We're gonna spray it heavily on the carpet, on the seats, and then we're gonna start the extraction phase. So first is gonna be the pre-spray, and then we're gonna agitate it really well, and then we'll begin the extraction phase. For those who have a Mighty or any type of extractor that you're able to do this, use this could be, I think it's like a, I don't know what kind of sock it is, but kind of like going to church socks. This is just a black one, but this is really cool to use on your extractors if you have the ability to stick something in there. What this does, it catches all the like pet hair, any big items, it catches it on the sock. So when you're done, you can either empty it, clean it out, or discard it and put a new one. But all I do is literally stick it in here. I usually turn the vacuum on, turn it off, and then I'll grab my hose and just attach it like that. That way, this is gonna catch all the major items, which there really isn't much other than pet hair, and then it's gonna be nothing but water going into the waste tank. So just a quick tip. So I've already turned on the extractor to start mixing the product. I've also turned on the heating element. So we have hot water coming out. So it's now time to start really the fun part, which is the pre-spraying, seeing all these stains kind of start changing color because it'll tend to happen. But and I know some of you guys may say, oh my god, that's a lot. Yeah, I know, but don't worry, it's gonna turn out really well. So again, I have 2 scoops of the pre-spray. When working on a hammered interior such as this one, it's really crucial for you to really kind of overdo the spraying part so that this product can really like dwell all into the fibers as well as your carpet. So I soak it up pretty well because I really want this product to loosen up this carpet, because it was pretty much like cardboard. So thankfully I have a pretty big extractor that, you know, it's gonna suck up everything so really well. So just pre-treating this, maybe overdoing it on the soaking part, but for me, I just love doing it this route. And one thing I like to do when doing my pre-spray, I know some of you guys don't like to see a lot of splatter all over your stuff. So I have so many drying towels that I always just put them in the front. And as you guys can see, it's pretty much covering the whole front dashboard, all the cup holders, everything I've cleaned. That way when I spray the pre-spray, it's gonna hit the towels. And you can feel safe, you know, to go ahead and kind of do a bunch of overspray of your pre-spray, if that makes sense. It doesn't hurt to use hot water for your pre-spray, but if you don't, it's okay. Don't think you have to have hot water to use a pre-spray. You can definitely use cold water for the pre-spray. This carpet, I can't wait to extract. It has so much stuff in it. It'll be pretty interesting to see what I can pull out. Oh yeah, I see some browning. This carpet is gonna look really good. And really quickly, before I start agitating with a drill brush, I want to show you guys how well this thing scrubs, and hopefully you guys can catch it on the, but if you want to use it as a scrubber, this material that's blended in with this sponge, I gotta say, does really well. It does really well as far as agitating if you don't have a drill brush. This thing does really well. This vehicle is finally done. I can't be any more excited to be done. Overall, this vehicle did take me about 6 hours from beginning to end. It was really a strictly interior only, but it's the customer's birthday. We got to make sure her car looks good. So I ended up just doing a very basic exterior wash, nothing crazy, but just overall, just for it to just give it just a nice flow, right? It'll look good. But overall, this vehicle turned out really well, guys. Honestly, I'm happy with the way it looked. The customers were ecstatic. So, you know, that's really what matters the most, is, you know, seeing their reaction. And you're gonna see obviously a couple clips already, you know, on how this vehicle turned out. You know, as a detailer, I strive to make these cars look really the best they can, but sometimes it's not always possible, just because of how much, or just because of the condition the interior was already, right? You know, so as a detailer, I strive for perfection. Sometimes there's only so much you can do as a detailer, even with the best products in the market, right? There's still, you know, like, I still see some things that I could be like, oh, it's bothering me, but I have to understand this car has never been detailed. So there is a lot of staining. Some light stains may come back, and I did explain that to them, and the customer was very understanding of that, you know. But really, the way it came out, I'm really happy how it turned out. Again, we use Flex Fire in the Extractor. We use Flex Citrus as our pre-spray. We use the drill brush with the cone, the new attachment. I'll be posting links of everything I used today, so you guys can go and check it out. We use the Sumo, I was about to say sumo wrestler, the Sumo scrub on all the interior, the plastics and everything. I've really been enjoying that that scrub pad, which I'll be doing a more dedicated video on that one. So expect that video, and I think there could be a giveaway on that one. And we use the Drive Auto Appearance Luxe Cockpit Conditioner on all the interior plastics and everything, and it turned out really well. Again, like on some of the videos, you'll notice there's still like some light stains, but there's so much you can really do, because really the more you try to extract this, you're just fighting it. So it's best for the upholstery to dry out, see what came up, and at that point we may need to retouch them up. That's no problem. The overall cost of this interior today was $650 for the interior, because of the condition it was. Some may say that's a lot of money, some may say, you know, that's too little. You know, for me, 650 was more than enough. It's a good day's work. And really there was just a lot that went into this process. One thing I tend to do, which I don't think I've mentioned, is before, after the extraction phase, I will blow everything again like the carpet. That's to pretty much return all the fibers back to its condition, or kind of blend them back in, and then I'll vacuum it out, and it turned out really, really well. Really, I think the only way I would have been satisfied is really tearing this whole thing apart, pulling the carpet out, pressure washing the carpet, pulling the seats out, and all of that, like the whole 9 yards on it. But sometimes there's budgets we have to stay within, and you know, I think we did the job. We nailed it. The customers were excited. She was happy. So happy birthday to the customer, by the way. I hope you really enjoy your new car now. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. Thanks so much for watching today's video. As always, God bless you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.